All right, hey everybody, how's it going? My name is JD Tenaple, and I'm going to attempt to make a new YouTube channel to just showcase some of the things that um, I find fascinating and interesting. Two areas of life that have become hobbies of mine that I really enjoy, and one being overlanding, and the other being food, actually. Can't already tell, but I love cooking. And since I've been engaged now for over a year, get married in less than 3 months, these two things have even just grown more, and I love doing it with my partner in crime, Lauren. So since my truck is pretty much the main tool and the main mechanism for any of my overlanding adventures, I figured I'd do a video. My first video would be talking about the truck, its features, why I bought it, and what is makes it equipped to do what I like to do with it. So, all right. Well, first things first. This is a 2023 Ford F-150. It is equipped with the 10-speed automatic transmission. I know a lot of people have had their doubts about that, but they have really gotten better in the last couple years. Not really a secret, but if you don't know trucks super well, Ford and General Motors both have partnered on this transmission now. So it's become really reliable. Again, this is a 2023, so this is the newest generation of that 10-speed transmission. And under the hood, which I will show you up close in a second, is the legendary 5-liter V8, better known as the Coyote, which is typically associated with Ford Mustangs, the 5.0s. Same basic build, but tuned differently. Some different internals to be able to handle wear and tear of what a truck would be used for instead of a race car, obviously, but tried and true. And they came out in 2011 with the first 5.0 and a F-150, and this is now the 4th generation of that powertrain. It does put out from the factory 400 horsepower and 410 to 415 foot-pounds of torque, depending on trim, gear ratio, and everything else like that. But so those are the basics about the truck. Again, it's 2023, and I have not done a ton of upgrades to it besides just things that are very, very practical for what I need. Obviously, like any other lifted truck guy, we all do it because it looks cool. If someone says they lifted their truck and they don't care about the looks, they're lying. Everyone does it. But there is a category of us that love the way it looks and feels, but also use it. So that's me. So again, 2023 Ford F-150 with the 5-liter V8 Coyote in it. So in terms of, from your perspective, what you can see here, what I've done to this thing in terms of mods, upgrades. This has a 6-inch lift from Rough Country, and I am on 35-inch Nitto trail grapplers, which is a mud and snow tire, and it's actually not too bad highway noise. You'd be surprised, but it does extremely well in environments like this, especially here in Arizona, where, you know, when it does rain, it's very flash floody and can get pretty messy out there. It handles it really well. And then I have family up in Colorado, where I grew up, and I've gotten to get it in the snow up there a couple times, and it's done really well. So this is a XLT trim, and I want to talk about that just for a second, and the reason why I think it's the best trim you can get from Ford in terms of what you can do with it. So to briefly take you through it, Ford has, let's say, 6 or 7 different trims for the F-150 nowadays. It's pretty crazy, but starts with your XL, which is your basic work truck. A lot of them are single cab, long beds or short beds, contractor trucks. You probably see them around a lot. Then you go to the STX, which is like kind of a fancier version of an XL with some cool badging and things. Then you go to the XLT. The XLT is very similar to maybe like an LT for GM, or it's like a Trail Boss even trim. Be similar to like a Bighorn if you're a Ram person. What I like about the XLT is you can get the XLT equipped with everything that, almost everything that the trims above it have. So it goes Lariat after that. My fiance has a Lariat. It's a great truck. I love it. She loves it. From there, King Ranch. Everyone knows about King Ranch. It's been around for a while. I think that's my personal favorite looking trim, but it's definitely more expensive to get into the King Ranch. And after that, you have your limited and platinum trims. And those are just, they're beautiful, but they're street trucks in my opinion. So of course you can make those in anything you want as well. But if you're like me and you're on a budget, then this is the best thing for, was the best thing for me, and maybe it would be for you too. So again, with the XLT trim, I was able to get a 6.5 foot bed, which I really, really enjoy. Being able to help haul things is really important. My fiance owns her own business. We do a lot of moving, furniture moving, and you know, things like vanities and things like that. So very practical for that. But also the 6.5 foot bed allows me to bring my pop-up truck bed tent, which is fantastic because I'm 6'2", not a small person, especially if I'm going with Lauren and our dogs. Having that extra length in the bed is fantastic. So four-door Super Crew cab. Ford's known for their back seats. They're great. They're nice and spacious. And again, 6-inch lift, 35s on a pair of 20s in terms of rims, mud terrain, Nitto trail grapplers. And it's been a fantastic truck. So yeah, 6 inches front, 6 inches in the back. It still has a little bit of a rake from the factory, which I do enjoy, because if I do tow, the squat brings it to just about level, unless it's a massive trailer, like a 30-foot, you know, trailer or something. You're definitely going to be riding like this. But for the most part, it looks great, very usable, nothing too crazy. I will say that 2021 is when this body style started for all Ford F-150s. So 2021 to 2023, which is this year, those are my favorite year of F-150s because it has this exact look with these headlights. So you can get, these are full LED, top and bottom, high beams, low beams, and then running LED lights, which I love, LED fog lights. My blinkers are incandescent, which bugs me. I'm gonna fix those and put LEDs in there at some point. But what's funny from Ford, I don't know why they did this, is 2024 and up, so all the way to the current model year to 2026, you can't get a XLT trim, unless I'm wrong, correct me in the comments, but you can't get an XLT trim with this style of headlight where you have the running LEDs here and here. They just come with a straight amber orange line, which isn't horrible, but this gives it more of a baby Super Duty look, which I think is really cool. So yeah, so that's the front end. We'll pop the hood here in a second, but the last thing I want to say about the XLT trim, which I really love, is again, with the XLT, you can pick whatever engine option you want. You can do the 2.7 EcoBoost, the 3.5 EcoBoost, or the 5-liter V8, or a Power Boost. You can even get a Power Boost in an XLT, which is the half hybrid, half gas engine, which a lot of people love, a lot of people don't. But I went to the tried and true V8 5-liter. But the nice thing is the XLT comes with, from the factory, different packages within the trim itself. So you can get a base XLT that basically resembles an XL, like a work truck, with a smaller screen and not a lot of accessories, but for a really good price. And you can work your way up pretty much all the way to a Lariat. And I joke with my fiance a lot because she has a Lariat, 2019 Lariat, so it is the generation before this truck. But the only thing she has that I don't is cooled seats, which would be nice here in Arizona. cooled seats, and she has a button where she can just fold her mirrors in and out. But other than that, I have everything, if not more, than her truck has, but in a lower trim on paper. So this is again, a 2023 XLT with I believe it's called a 302A accessory package. Alrighty, so like I was saying, 35-inch Nitto trail grapplers. They're 35 by 12.5 by 20. I've enjoyed them. A lot of people don't like the 20s for off-roading, but again, I wanted a combination of a good look, but also usability. So that gives me that. Had to do some just a very, very minor cutting. Right here, you can kind of see how it comes down right here, so I don't rub. I have zero rubbing issues, which is fantastic. Again, there's the 6-inch from Rough Country in one struts in the front. Here you go, is more of a front view of the vehicle. So I'm 6'2", and that's about eye height for me. So it's a, you know, pretty imposing vehicle for sure. Got the, you know, metal tow hooks on the front. As you can see down here, that's the Rough Country just front end for my lift kit, and just definitely was a huge upgrade for sure. Just you can feel it as soon as you hit the road. And you'll see little minor upgrades, just Amazon things I've done to make it look cool, just like the blacked out front. I really was going for the black and white look. So this is for the highways, super nice, or if you're following someone close up on the trail. This bounces rocks up and off instead of scratching your hood. It's actually helped quite a bit, especially on the highways in Arizona with the semis kicking up rocks. That's always a problem for people. So having that has been nice. So moving here to the side, same thing, 35s here. I did get a extra badge for the 5-liter Coyote V8, because why would you not want to show that off in a world of small displacement turbocharged engines these days, right? Upgraded the antenna. Ford comes with these stupid, you know, 20 feet tall looking things like a CB radio. So I just got a smaller one for off-roading, which has been nice. Part of the package is, again, this truck does come with a nice lighting package. So there's lights, not just blinkers here, but these will actually light up LED. There's an LED light underneath as well. You can see under there. Spotlights for when you're getting in and out of the truck. This truck does have blind spot monitoring, which is fantastic as well, part of that package. Something I do want to do is get rid of the stock running boards on here. They're, in my opinion, not very good looking. They're not super strong, and they just don't look good with now that I've lifted this thing. So yeah, gonna deal with that later, get some sliders or something with that. So more info to come there. Again, this is a Super Crew, so you know, big old cab in the back here. And as we move down, you can really see the suspension back here. So there's that Rough Country M1, M as in Marlowe system back here. Still stock exhaust. It's a 3-inch all the way out. I haven't done anything to make this thing too rowdy yet. I kind of want to keep it nice and quiet for now, even though at some point I would like to open it up and get some more sound for sure. Same with the blinkers, not happy. One thing is these are incandescent tail lights, which I do want to get replaced, but LED reverse lights, which are great. I did upgrade these. It's like 25 bucks off Amazon. These are LED lights for your tail, for your license plate. All the hookups and stuff for everything you could ever want here and here. So all types of trailer. This is how you get to the spare tire, is through here. What's that? Here's the back end. I love the way this thing sits. Again, this right here is eye level, so it's up there. It looks really good. There's a little below shot. Sits nice. And then all the work that's been done on this truck has been done by, I got a sticker right here, the Lift Shop. There's a couple locations here in the Phoenix area. They do a lot of work for liftedtrucks.com. Just a great place to do anything you want. You can even buy parts, bring it there, they'll install it for you, or you can go with their recommendations, which they have excellent recommendations. So, but yeah, so there's the truck. Show you the back. Just nice little assist on the tailgate. Don't have a mat in here yet. I'm still debating on if I'm going to get either a spray in or if I'm going to just go with like a laser fit, pad to put down that's nice and thick. Do have power on board in the back here, which is nice. I wish it was a little bit higher voltage. It is a 120 volt, but only a 400 watt max. So I am able to run my air compressor off this when I go off-roading, which is nice. But I can't power like even like a Keurig, which sucks. But that's why we have power stations these days. So this button turns on all the lights. There's lights back here. Sorry, my gimbal's giving me trouble. Lights here, turns on the lights up on top. It actually does a pretty dang good job at night lighting this thing up, especially because it's white. So that being said, I'll turn that off. There we go. It kind of nice fades away. Tailgate's actually really light. I don't have the classic Ford pull out step up, the grandpa step as a lot of people call it. A little bit of a bummer because it would be nice to have at different points because it is lifted. It is hard to get in and out sometimes. However, it does make the tailgate a hell of a lot lighter, which is nice. So, okay, so moving in now, so we can just go to the back seat. So this is how my truck looks most of the time right now because I don't have any kids. We just have dogs. So what I love about these Fords is there's not a bump here in the middle. It's just a full usable space. So back seats fold up. I have all kinds of just gear and storage, shovels and tools, power kits, jumper cables, fuses, extra rope, all that kind of stuff back there, which is great. It is nice. This comes with vents for the back. Power here, like cigarette lighter power, as well as extra power for devices here. So USB and USB-C and another 120 volt, 400 watt max down here. Just super practical. Really nice. Obviously power windows and all the good stuff here on the side. Bang & Olufsen sound kit. Again, I just always keep extra coolant on me and extra oil and all that good stuff. So this is what the back pretty much always looks like. If I'm bringing people around, it's pretty easy to just throw these down. Keep moving Blakey back here for the dogs, and then obviously for helping my fiance move furniture and stuff. So another thing while we're back here, that is a sliding rear window, which is really nice. It looks pretty sleek from the back because it just cuts right out of the glass. That is a nice feature. I did add these rain guard / sling guard things. Do they do anything? Not really. Just like the look of them. That's it. So in classic Ford nature, we have our passcode for the door. Still haven't seen any other companies that do that. I love it. Bad habit, I leave my keys in this thing all the time. And it is a nice little thing to have. Just knowing that I can just do that and pop on in at a code of my desire. So let's check out the front now. So here I just, keep things, that is my pillbox bat. I got for my birthday from my best friend years ago. Luckily haven't had to use it, but you never know. You just never know. That's all I'm going to say. Pretty basic here, just mirror controls, lock and unlock. When I bought it, there was some type of auxiliary switch here. Still can't figure out where that was. It must have been something that was taken off. But like I said, you have mirror lights, spotlights. You have a button to do your tailgate from inside, which is great. Cargo lamps, electronic e-brake. I do wish it was just full mechanical. I don't like that it's electric because that could just obviously break, but it is what it is. We are in 2026 nowadays. So, but let me show you what it looks like inside here. So inside the Ford, nice interior, kind of all the creature comforts you would ever want. But another thing with the XLT trim that I was telling you guys about is you can make this thing as fancy or as non-fancy as you want. One thing I do love about this truck, obviously the infotainment screen is super nice. I like that it's just a square. It's nothing, it's not like up here. It's not super long. It fits the truck well. Let me turn this on so you can see. I think it's a great looking deal. So I was able to get with this trim a nice camera, which is great. But the main thing, and I use this almost every time I'm going somewhere that's remotely technical. Ford calls it downhill descent. I call it just like crab walking almost. This is your downhill descent control. So anything 20 miles an hour or less, you can set it and it'll keep you at that on the downhill grade, which is great. Traction control on and off. Down here, just, I like that Ford still has so many different just actual knobs that you can do instead of just touchscreen. But yeah, so here is your climate control. I do like that it is a dual climate, so my fiance can have her butt warmer on as well as her air at literally 80 degrees in the summer, and I can be over here on low 60 degrees, which is nice. So that's all there. Got a plug up here, same power as the back. Here, just an upper and a lower glove box, which is great. Like I said, this came with the Max tow package, so I do have Pro Trailer Assist. I've never used it. I grew up pulling trailers and learning how to back up and stuff, so it doesn't really play use for me. But for people who are getting into trucks or are new to it and new to towing, it's a great little accessory for sure. So down here, I do have obviously a 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. And one thing I love about these Fords is a diff locker for the rear. So a rear diff lock, which is fantastic to be able to have and just do that. Again, that is limited to a certain speed as well for obvious reasons. And then as I turn this knob, that's how I get to different drive modes. So going back over here, so let me just actually power this on for you guys. So let's go here. So this is what it looks like here. So again, the steering wheel itself just has regular controls like lane assist and cruise control. I don't have adaptive cruise control on here. I don't really know if I would use it or not. Your volume, toggle, and all that for your menu. I do like that this is pretty much the last Ford you can get into that doesn't have the full LED screen. I do like that there is an LED screen. It tells me a lot of nice things, but I like having the analog odometer and RPM gauge, speedometer and RPM gauge, which is great. So last thing I would like to show you guys just is kind of how I run it for off-roading situations. So I'm going to take you through all the modes real quick. So you have your sport mode. I live in sport mode. Anyone that has a sport mode, I don't know why you wouldn't just live in it. It just makes everything better. It's just shifts better and everything. From there, you do have an eco mode, which is cylinder deactivation. I never use it. It just cuts too much power for me. I do have a tow haul mode, which is great. It just stiffens everything up. The shift points are different. It's ready to go. And then you go into your normal mode. So just normal. From there, you can go to slippery. I've used this in Colorado quite a bit on trips. So it automatically shifts into 4-wheel drive. And you can tell by the little icon down here what you're in if you do forget. Next, you have deep snow and sand. Again, this shifts into 4-wheel drive, but it also turns off traction control, and you can do your diff lock in the back. So that's a nice feature. And then from there you go to mud and ruts. So this actually will engage your rear diff locker. And then your last one is rock crawl. So rock crawl mode is it wants to go into 4 low. I never really use it because I don't do a lot of rock gardens and stuff. But it's there if you need it. And again, the button for your diff lock is right here. It's blank, it wants me to go into 4 low. But when I click this, you'll see the light come on and off. So there, it's off, now it's on. You can hear it kind of clicking in the background. So I leave this thing in sport almost all the time. So now it's going to go back out of 4. When I'm off-roading, this is how I run it. So I'll go in sport mode. As soon as I hit dirt, it's kind of a rule of thumb for me, unless it's just extremely easy, I just go to 4 high, because it is you can run 4 high in these trucks pretty fast, up to 60, 70 miles an hour if needed. I would never go that fast, but in 4 high. But it is nice when you're desert running or in a riverbed, just to have that. Even with washboard and stuff, it really helps. So, and then on my center screen, I do have lots of options for daily driving and things in here. So what I'll do is I will either run tire pressure, which is nice to know. I'm all over the board right now, as you can see. I do like the off-road grid. It gives you your vertical and horizontal degrees for everything you need with that. That's very nice to have. And power distribution. I do like this one the most, probably because this does tell me how much power is going to each wheel, each tire. When I'm in 4 high, I want to be able to see the front actually giving me power. So sometimes if something doesn't feel right, I can check that and make adjustments as I need to. So that's usually what I'll run here on my center screen. And then I use, which I will show in the video later, pretty much exclusively use Onyx Off-Road. I think it's just a fantastic app. What I do love is it is in Apple CarPlay, so I'm already here. So you have things like Spotify, blah, 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 but you can just go right into your Onyx Off-Road, which is everything from plotting a map, altitude, type of terrain, trail reviews, safety features, you name it, Onyx Off-Road has it. I love it. It even is telling me where I'm at right now, different points of altitude and things, which is nice. So typically what I'll do here is if I'm running my power to each wheel like screen here, I'll have Onyx on here, and then I will actually add to the side the off-road feature just to give myself degrees. So as I'm turning my wheel, you can see the degrees changing and all that good stuff. So that is pretty much it for the inside and how I run it. Again, I will deflate down depending on where I'm going. Anywhere at the lowest, maybe 26 PSI in each tire. Usually 28 is about as low as I'll go, but if it's really rough, I'll go 26. And then as I and just driving just day to day, going to work, whatever, typically I'll do 40 to 42 PSI in the front 2 tires. And on the rear tires, I'll go a little bit lower, like 38, because the back of pickup trucks are just so much lighter. They just fly around. So it's nice to have a little extra cushion in the back, because obviously in the front with the motor, transmission case up front, everything like that, it's so much heavier. So having a little bit more oomph is nice, having a higher PSI. So that's pretty much it. It's a fantastic rig. It does everything I need it to do. You know, I love it a lot. I have a lot of fun driving it. I feel really cool driving it, which is part of it. But it keeps me safe, keeps my family safe. And I absolutely love this truck. So, yeah, that's the Ford, and I hope you guys enjoy the little review. And as promised, here is the under the hood look at the 5-liter Coyote. It is a little bit dirty under here. Battery here on the left, when you're looking at it, there is the 5-liter right there, the Rev Happy V8. I did install this a couple months ago. I wanted the most air possible, so I did a rough country open air box Cold air intake, it's definitely improved. Throttle response as it goes right to the motor, and I've enjoyed it a lot, so that's been a great upgrade. Other than that though, again, this takes 5W30 in terms of oil, and just keep the coolant topped off. This thing runs nice. So these things redline at a little over 7,000 RPM, which is fantastic. They're absolutely nuts. Where they lack in a low end torque compared to the EcoBoost, they absolutely make up for later down the road. So, all right, as mentioned earlier, we were heading out to the Verde River Sheets Bridge. There are some Google images of what it's supposed to look like. Originally built in the 40s during World War II. There is the hidden hot springs that is nearby. Lauren and I went on an adventure to find it. So here we go. Let's plot it out. So using Onyx Off-Road, pretty simple route. I was able to build this the day before just to double check and send this to family and loved ones, as we always do before trips, to make sure that we're safe. Just north of Cave Creek. And here we go as I pull up the kind of the trip info and BSB1 in terms of back way to Sheep's Bridge 1. First chunk was 23 miles, and as you'll see here in a second, the second chunk's a little over 10 miles. Again, it may not sound like a long ways, but as a crow flies is different than what really happens when you're overlanding. But yeah, so beautiful trip. Again, if you're in the Phoenix Valley or Phoenix metro area at all, highly recommend. This is probably one of the most underrated, lesser known places to go that just has incredible scenery. It's not far from the city, and it feels like you're in a whole other place. So here we go, getting started. This is right after we turn off Horseshoe Dam Road onto the actual back way to Sheep's Bridge. And this is pretty much immediately the river crossing. And this is the only mandatory river crossing you have to do to get to the Sheep's Bridge from this side. A lot of people take the Bloody Basin Road from the I-17, which is beautiful in its own right. It's much longer. This is much more accessible for Lauren and myself living in North Phoenix, North Scottsdale area. So more video to come of the actual river crossing on the way back, but didn't have any issues. Again, if you have, I would say, at least a 4-inch lift and 33s, you should be okay. But definitely 6-inch lift and 35s or more is more than enough. So as you can see, just as we're climbing up, beautiful terrain. The high point of this trip was only about 2,200 feet above sea level. The Sonoran Desert has a ton of just random little things out there, like this little vineyard that looks like it's overgrown now, but just seeing things like this makes trips just so fun, and lots of opportunities to stop and to sightsee, and just a great time for us and the dogs. So as we're continuing up, I would say that this trail is not heavily technical. Onyx Off-Road has parts of this route as a 4 or 5 out of 10 on their scale. It's in the blue category on Onyx, so that means it's just intermediate. Not easy, not hard, kind of like a ski slope. But yeah, you'll see some traffic coming and going here. We saw some Jeeps and lots of side-by-sides, but here's a little bit more of a technical section. It's this was about a 6 to 8 degree downhill, and again, thankfully, like I mentioned earlier, my Ford has downhill descent, so you're able to set it to a speed and go. I set this to about 5-6 miles an hour and just let it go. So super easy. The nice thing about this trail is you do get a little bit of everything in terms of open riverbed where you can really let it go up to 30 miles an hour. You got your rock gardens where you're just you really want to deflate your tires and enjoy that. And then here you go. Here's an uphill ascent. This one was close to 8 degrees, maybe a little bit more. Again, I'm in 4 high, first gear, just climbing up. And even with my truck, again, it's a 6-inch lift with 35s that are on spacers. We still had at least a foot or a foot and a half of play on the right side there before you drop off, so nothing crazy. Here's one of our spots where we decided that we're about halfway at this point to Sheep's Bridge to stop and stretch our legs and take a look around. Something else that's really cool out in this area is the Humboldt Mountain Observatory, and I'm going to zoom in on it right here. It looks like a big golf ball on top of this mountain. It's a really accessible road. You don't even need four-wheel drive to get up there. But that's actually was built in the 80s by the FAA for radar for airports down in the Phoenix Valley. There's also some other federal things up there, but cool spot. There's my fiance cheesing away, and Ellie, our little puppy, in the back. She gets car sick, so she rides in the bed. And here we go, back up one more descent. This is one of the final descents that we needed to take before dropping back down into the Verde River Basin. Again, like I was mentioning earlier, this trip kind of has a little bit of everything. It's close to Phoenix. It's got areas where you can, cruise at a decent speed. It's got areas where you got to slow down, hills, descents. Here's another spot we stopped at. This is just random cave up in the hills. Pretty cool to zoom in on that and see that. Just makes us want to go back another time and stop at different places. So here we go. Here's our first look at the Sheep's Bridge, crossing the Verde River. Get more into the specifics and design and all that of that bridge here in a second. But immediately I was taken back just by the sheer length of it. Especially something that was originally designed back in the 1940s during World War II. Unfortunately, there's not any more sheep herder clans or anything out here in this part of Arizona anymore. But they did preserve this bridge for folks like us to still enjoy it to this day, years later. So there's Willie, our old man dog, having a good time. And here we are setting up camp. So got the fire going. Have the Dutch oven in there. We made some awesome chili this night. As you can see, we're putting the rain fly on top of the truck bed tent because there was some rain in the forecast for the later morning. It was pretty low, but just wanted to be safe. And here we go, just trying to get the Dutch oven in the right spot. And again, we were cooking some chili. It ended up being really good. Super hot. Had to throw the oven mitts on, as you can see, but I started it with on a direct flame, and then as the fire died out, you can separate the coals and fill it in and let it go. So low and slow for about an hour and a half, and ended up being perfect. So that was a very tasty meal. And here's a look at our camp at night with the fire going. Again, it's a 6.5 foot bed on my truck, so we were able to get the brand is a Joy Tutus. We got it off Amazon. And here's a little look. Here's Lauren. She does a great job at getting things set up and getting things cozy. Here to look inside the tent. All of our pillows from home, comforter from home, a nice 4-inch memory foam mattress. It's a great night's sleep. So, and yeah, that was our camp for the night. So there's the Sheep Bridge one more time as the sun's going down. We had a nice fire going. We enjoyed some drinks and some chili. And here's some final preparations of the Dutch oven. Just one more stir I was doing. Again, patience is key with Dutch oven cooking and overlanding cooking because it makes it better. And by this point, it's dark. So we have our lamps on, and leave it to me to forget silverware and bowls to eat our food out of. So we used our Yeti coffee mugs as little dishes for chili this night, but it's honestly more fun when you just have to figure things out there. So all right, here's next morning. We have camp still set up. I had brought a couple things in just to keep critters out of our stuff the night before, but here we are. Most important thing in the morning is making coffee, so I'm getting the single burner butane stove going, and here I'm bringing the bag over of coffee grounds. We had some medium roast Colombian coffee, I believe, and it's really good stuff. So I just boiled some water and put a filter over, and hot poured it in. It was good stuff. So um, great way to start the morning. A little overcast, and that night it did get down to about 45. So nothing too crazy when you have body heat and dogs, and the extra layer of the rain fly week didn't get too cold. It was okay, but Arizona night times in the desert, desert nights are something people don't expect to be very cold, but they are pretty cold. They pierce your skin pretty good because it's a dry cold. It's different than humidity. So if you do come out here, even in Arizona, when you think it's hot all the time, it can get pretty chilly at night. But we did pretty good. So at this point, let the dogs get out, stretch their legs, and Lauren is somewhere in the background getting her fishing pole ready to go. She is the angler of the family and is an outstanding fisherwoman. And so as I'm making coffee, she's getting ready to do that. And there she is right there, getting ready to go as I'm getting my caffeine fix for the morning. So this morning we had planned on staying for just a couple more hours. We wanted to get back before it got dark or anything back into Phoenix. So just a slow morning, slept in until 8:30, 45, and so here's some views of Sheep's Bridge in the morning. A little overcast day, it was real nice. Lauren's fishing. She had spotted some largemouth bass over there, so she was hoping to get something, and just kind of making sure camp's good. And we're going to head up the Sheep's Bridge here and actually check it out. So here's a little walk up. It's just a little grade that you walk up, and nice thing about this area is they do have some memorabilia plaques on each side that tell kind of the story of this. So this side, facing the west, does have pictures of hundreds of sheep crossing this thing back in the 40s and 50s when they built this thing. It stretches almost 600 feet from anchor to anchor across the Verde River, which is pretty impressive when you think about them using, from what they claim, only scrap metal and wood was the original design. So obviously this one is not scrap metal and wood, but one that is fully capable of handling lots of human beings, and a lot of people use mountain bikes on this thing. But here we go. So Laura and I are walking across the bridge, and one thing that we were taken away by pretty quickly was just how clear the water was, and just kind of that deep aqua, darker blue color. And from here, Lauren actually did spot a little school of largemouth bass, so we knew that when we got back down, we were going to hit the water one more time and see if we can get ourselves a bass. And from here, this is my first look at guessing where the hot springs was. Again, like I said in the intro, there is a hidden hot springs over here that's supposed to be around 100 degrees year round. So as I pan over here to all the kind of the river shrubs and things, as I'm pointing, it did end up being pretty close to that area. So it was a pretty cool experience. So here we go. We're going off the bridge now. Just a quick little check out of the northern facing plaque of the bridge. This is what kind of details the construction, how they did it in the 40s and why they did it. Again, this is called the Bloody Basin Bridge in some areas. The Bloody Basin is named after, quite literally, lots of fights between Native Americans and settlers at the time. A lot of conflict happened there, so that's why it's called the Bloody Basin. So here we go. We found a little trail coming right down from that northern point, and we just followed it. And sure enough, we found this spooky little tunnel of shrubbery. But pretty much as soon as you get in here, you can feel the humidity climbing. And sure enough, there at the end is a hot springs. And I was pretty shocked that it looked just like the pictures, if not better. Clear water, no one was there. It's very private, very secluded. and you could feel the steam coming up on a, at this point, probably 55, 60 degree day, which is really refreshing. And we didn't know if we were going to get in or not. We brought our stuff, and then as we got there, we're like, we got to do this. So we got in and had a good time talking and just soaking, just thinking about, thousands of years ago, what people would just sit in this thing and just relax and just be part of it. So we had a really good time, and again, the water year round is about 100 degrees. As you can see, I kind of move over here a little bit. The actual spring is coming out of the left side there.
Showering,
from this angle.
bathing.
It does get a little warmer, but yeah, I'd say this place, this probably could fit 4 or 5, full-size adults, and it's worth it. If you can get to it, it's worth it. Definitely was a really once-in-a-lifetime experience to sit in a real natural hot spring. So we walked back, and here we are back at camp. Pretty much had packed up by this point, and but we were determined, as in Lauren was determined, to catch a largemouth bass. Here she goes. She has something on the line. Sure enough, there it is. She got one. Good size, maybe a 10-inch.
That's a good fish.
Largemouth bass.
Yeah.
See by the smile, she was pretty happy. She's a great angler and has taught me a lot about it. And it's perfect just because I love cooking, I love camp and logistics. She loves fishing, so we kind of just do our things on the side and then come back together. There goes the fish.
Yes.
We did it.
As per usual, she wanted to keep it, and we did keep it because it probably would die on the way home. So here we are. We're heading back out. We decided we wanted to, get out with enough time before it started raining, and maybe stop for lunch. We found a nice spot. So, yeah, on our way back, we did decide to find a place to stop. Here's a little side by side of the truck going down the road, and the other angle in the front. It's a beautiful day, just cruising along. But again, like I said, there are some technical parts, and again, this isn't too crazy, but having that clearance really helps in areas like this. Here's one of those grades. And what we decided to do was, since Lauren had already caught the buzz of catching a fish, maybe trying one more time. So again, this route takes us past and alongside Horseshoe Dam. So we decided, why don't we just stop for lunch out there? So here's a little offshoot of the main trail. Again, this is a 1/2 ton, so a full-size truck with the 6.5 foot bed. So getting through this kind of stuff, it's not impossible, but you definitely need to take it slow. It really helped having Lauren there as a spotter. So now we're down by Horseshoe Lake. Very secluded, very private. Not a lot of people even really go to this place. Usually people go to the lake a little bit south of there called Bartlett Lake, which is the road we took on the way in. So I am just cranking away at some of my favorite Italian sandwiches, and just a little recipe for you guys. It's just a hoagie roll from your local shop, mustard and mayo, some red wine vinegar, some Olive Garden Italian seasoning, and then fresh cut yellow onions, red onions, and Parmesan. Also some banana peppers, and then I'm totally a sucker for the good stuff. I get boar's head, and we got the Genova salami and pepperoni and the deluxe ham. So I'm enjoying it. Clearly, there's a little cross-section action from Lauren's sandwich, and we just had a good time. So she had a couple bites out there, no fish caught, but had a good time, and stretching our legs around halfway back to the main road, and here we are getting on out of there. Again, having the Ford is great because, quick weekend trips like this, you can pack everything and more that you need, and really can't complain about it. So here's one more look at this section exiting Horseshoe Lake and what it looks like to take a full-size vehicle through here. Again, it's not possible, but you will get some pinstripes. Personally, I think it adds character to a vehicle. I don't try to intentionally hurt my truck, but I also don't mind having some marks of honor on there, as I'd call it. But yeah, so there's a little view of that, and now we're kind of coming back down. This is the final incline back to Horseshoe Dam and Bart Lake Road. And as promised, here is some actual views of going through the Verde River. So at this point, and this is February of 2026, they are releasing some water from Horseshoe Dam, which is where we had lunch. So this is below the dam. So there is a decent amount of water here. This went, I'd say 3/4, if not fully, at my tires, my 35s at some point. But nothing that was at all frightening or scary. It was very easy. Of course, once I figured out I could get through it, I decided to go through it again and again, and my lovely fiance was kind enough to record it. So here I am. This is more of a straight-on view. You can see that it gets down decently close to the fog lights, and again, this is a 6-inch lift in the front. So if you're lifted up and have four-wheel drive, just keep your momentum. It's really nothing to be afraid of. Had a good time. So here's a view of the tire going through it. It's pretty neat. And yeah, so this is on our way out. This is that kind of the last section of River Rock. Some of this will get flooded in a month or two when all the snow is melting off. And kind of a rule of thumb for me, as soon as I hit pavement, I try to air back up. Even if it's not perfect, it's nice to get PSI back up to just a more natural level for the main road. Again, I go down to 28 PSI, 26 at the lowest, but for this trip I did 28, and I'm able to plug into my onboard power of the truck to the compressor, and here I'm just checking the PSI, getting back up to about 38 in the back and 40 to 42 in the front. Again, thank you so much for watching this. Again, that was the back way to Sheep's Bridge, and it was a fantastic trip. We had a good time. Such a great little getaway. Really can't complain about anything. Lauren caught a fish. We found a hidden hot springs. Had a good time, and our dogs had a good time. That's always a win too. So please like and subscribe, and hope to see you guys on the next video. And remember, hook 'em horns, baby.